Hi, I'm Pastor Bill Vigue of Meat of the Word Ministries. Generational curses. This is number 4 in this series. I want to talk to you for a few minutes and answer the question. Some people would ask the question. Some people have written to me and asked, well, what about the generational curses? Don't we suffer for the sins of our parents? Well, of course we do. In this sense, for instance, if you have a parent that spoiled you, that never taught you, didn't train you, failed to train you, you're suffering for that. How many people are in a society today are children that they don't know how to work. They don't know how to pick up their clothes. They don't know how to clean their room. They don't know how to cook a meal. Parents that do everything for you have spoiled you, or parents that have failed to train you. Well, you're suffering for that lack of sin. And of course, if you see them doing terrible, hateful things against God, cursing God and things of that nature, it has a lasting effect upon you. But remember, if you are a Christian, you have been redeemed from the curse of the law. God has removed that curse out of your way. Now, the subject comes up, what about the children of Israel? Didn't the fathers that did not believe in God when God had delivered them from Egypt, now listen carefully to this story, everybody knows this story. God delivered the children of Israel after 400 years of bondage in Egypt, led them across the Sinai desert, brought them and promised to bring them into a land of promise of good and plenty. And when he sent them in there, he sent 12 men, 12 leaders of the nation, sent them in to spy out the land. And when they came back, they said it's exactly what God had said. It's a land of milk and honey. He didn't lie to us. But of those 12, 10 of those men came back with a report that said, we are not able to take that land because the people that are in there are like giants. And they were afraid to move forward. Well, that rumor went among everyone, every tent that night, and all of Israel fell into fear. And their fear and unbelief caused a punishment to come on them, and God was going to wipe them right out, right there for their sins. And it was the intercession of Moses that stopped them. And so God said, though, but the punishment will be your children will wander in the wilderness for 40 years. Now, so they were affected, all right? 40 years, a whole new generation was wiped out. Not 4 generations, but 1 generation. That whole 40 years wandered in the wilderness. Now, you have to ask yourself this question. While they did not enter into the promised land during that time, did God punish them and kill them? Did he not take care of them? Did he not feed them and clothe them and shelter them? The soles of their feet, their shoes didn't wear out. Their clothes didn't wear out. God provided for them and blessed them as a people and recharged their faith and recharged their commitment to obey God and go in and take that land. And they did go in and take that land. The next generation was a blessed generation. So I don't want you to think that I'm not aware of the fact that, we're going to, if we're in an environment of sinners, it's going to have an effect upon us. Think about Lot and his wife. Lot was vexed by the filthy communication of the wicked people. Didn't even have to have the fathers. And it's the same thing for us. If we as Christians continue to sit under the teachings of false doctrines or fables or superstitions, and this idea that some of these preachers are ordained of God, come out of some of these denominational colleges and schools, and they think that they're ministers and professional ministers, all they are really are hirelings, and their message in ministry is to make sure you stay in the faith that God is in control, that you don't have to do anything like resist the devil. You don't have to listen to God or grow in the things of God or grow in the knowledge of God. It boggles my mind that people would sit under that kind of teaching. But those are the same people that you'll go over to and you'll try to get help from them, and they'll say the problem with your son or your daughter is a generational curse. There's something that you've done, and they put the blame on you instead of instructing you with good, clean, healthy Christian doctrine that says Jesus Christ has redeemed you from the curse of the law. Now, so strong was this effort was in Matthew chapter 23 when Jesus was rebuking the Pharisees and the Sadducees, these religious leaders, for putting heavy burdens on people. They came over him and he was asking him in the very context. He said, and do not call yourself rabbis or master, and don't call any man your father. Jesus knew it was very important for these new believers that were going to come to him and trust in him to stop looking at their daddies and looking at their past and stop thinking that their father's sins is going to have an effect upon them. He said, call no man on earth your father. You have a new father. His father in the new birth, if you are a Christian, Jesus Christ has opened the door for you to have your Father in heaven treat you, and now you can enjoy the blessings of that Father instead of the curses of the old fathers. Hey, Christians, you're not under the curse anymore. You've been redeemed from the curse. Why? So that the blessings of Abraham, not the blessings of the Old Testament covenant, not the blessings of Deuteronomy 28 that was under the Mosaic law, but the blessings of Abraham might come on you and overtake you. God wants to bless you. He doesn't want you to live under the fear or threat of a curse. Don't accept curses as an excuse anymore. Get up and fight the devil. Fight the good fight of faith and resist the devil with the truth. God bless.